Arizona Republican Senate nominee Blake Masters joined Kari Lake on the campaign trail in Scottsdale on Wednesday. Masters is currently vying to defeat incumbent Democratic Senator Mark Kelly, who previously won an abbreviated term in 2020. Recent polling has shown Masters trailing Kelly, often by as little as 2 points. But Kari Lake, the GOP's gubernatorial nominee, has led her Democratic challenger for weeks. Lake has made a point of helping other Republicans on the ballot. With the balance of power in the Senate potentially resting on the results of the Arizona election, Masters is seeking to tie himself to Lake and avoid losing due to split-ticket voting.
Incredible energy. Who's excited for a red wave in just 6 days? And what do you think? Should we go ahead and send Senator Mark Kelly back to space? We're going to do it. It could not be more important. We need a statewide sweep. How excited are we for Governor Kari Lake? She's going to be phenomenal. I'm telling you, my only regret is that apparently we don't get to see Katie Hobbs debate Kari Lake. How fun would that be, right? What a spectacle. Now, Katie Hobbs, she's cowardly, I think, for refusing to debate, but somewhat rational, right? Katie's not the smartest person in the world, but I think she's clever enough to know what Kari would do to her on a debate stage, right? Katie Hobbs refuses to debate Kari Lake. At this point, though, I think Senator Mark Kelly's wishing that he had refused to debate me. Because a couple weeks ago, we got him pretty good. Now, he had the hard task of defending his record, which is just indefensible. Indefensible. His record is Joe Biden's record. Isn't it interesting that Barack Obama is here in town today to rally for Katie Hobbs and Mark Kelly? I think they're hoping that the former president can reinvigorate their flailing campaigns. But I think Obama's presence here is a distraction for who's not here. Joe Biden, right? Where's Joe Biden? Mark Kelly doesn't even want to mention Joe Biden's name because they know that Biden has failed. Well, Joe Biden's record is Mark Kelly's record. I look at what these two guys have done to our country in the last 20 months. Man, I knew it was going to be bad, but I'm astonished at how quickly they've been able to make everything this bad. And they did it on purpose. That's what I'm out there reminding people. The border crisis, they caused it. Right? They're not even trying to secure our border. It would be bad enough for this country if Biden and Mark Kelly were trying hard but failing to secure our border. Guys, they didn't even try. They surrendered our sovereignty to the Mexican narco-terrorist drug cartels. They laid out the welcome mat, complete open borders. Come on in, illegal aliens. Well, you know this as well as I do. You fought for this country. This is the greatest country in the history of the world, is it not? Hell yeah, it is. So what do these geniuses think was going to happen? You're in the greatest country in the history of the world. You throw its borders wide open, and you tell the whole world, come on in. Not only will we not deport you, Biden says to illegals. He says, here's an incentive. Here's a cash payment. Here's a bus ticket. Here's a cell phone. Here's a midnight flight out of Phoenix Sky Harbor. You can go anywhere in the country you want to go, except Martha's Vineyard. No, don't go to Martha's Vineyard. No, no, no. But these people, and the media, our friends in the media, right? They wanted to call Governor DeSantis a human trafficker because he sent 50 illegal aliens to Martha's Vineyard. They said, we don't have the infrastructure to deal with this. No, Yuma, Arizona doesn't have the infrastructure to deal with it, right? They don't get 50 one time. They get 50 every hour. This is an absolute crisis, and it's Mark Kelly and Joe Biden who have worked hand in hand with the Mexican drug cartels to traffic more than 4.5 million human beings into this country. You got literal hotel rooms in Scottsdale, hotels full of illegal aliens, but you drive by a public park, you will probably see U.S. military veterans sleeping homeless on park benches, meaning not getting the mental health care that they need. Right? Biden and Mark Kelly, they're putting Americans last. They're putting veterans last. I wish this were the only crisis the Democrats have caused. Of course, it's not. You got to look over at the economy, right? Or don't look at your 401k. Sorry, please don't. Don't look at your grocery bill. I mean, this is horrible. And again, I'm not suggesting that Biden or Mark Kelly could ever competently steward a healthy economy. Okay, I think they're in over their heads. They're incompetent. But what we're seeing is so much worse than mere incompetence, right? It's by design. After he canceled the border wall, January 20th of last year, what's the second dumb thing that Biden did? He canceled Keystone. What did these geniuses think was going to happen to the price of gas? If you declare war on American energy, you declare war on oil and gas in a country that's still mostly powered by oil and gas, gosh, you think you might send the price of energy up? Yes. They're either too dumb and they don't understand that that's the likely consequence. They deserve to lose their jobs. Or I actually think some of them are clever enough to know. They knew that they were going to take gas from $2 to $6. Right now they want a prize because it's back down closer to $5 because Biden is selling out oil from our strategic petroleum reserve, right? Compromising our national security in a desperate bid to just push oil prices down before the midterms. But they don't care if you're paying $6 for a gallon. You give Mark Kelly any more time in office to rubber stamp Joe Biden's agenda, I promise you, soon gas will be $8, $10, $12 a gallon. And you know what? The Democrats in charge, they'll say, good. Pete Buttigieg will look you in the eye and say, you should be driving an electric car. That's what they think about us. But here's the thing. When you make energy too expensive, you make absolutely everything in the economy expensive, right? That causes inflation because every product you need to live takes energy to make and to move. So they destroyed our energy independence, and then they printed $7 trillion, between $6 and $7 trillion in the last 20 months. And apparently, the PhD economists on Biden's staff don't understand how this causes inflation, but I'll tell you what, my 8-year-old understands it perfectly well, right? When the government just prints $1 trillion, it devalues our currency. It makes every dollar in your wallet worth less and less. You got more dollars in the system chasing the same amount of goods and services. That's going to make prices go up. Prices at the pump, at the grocery store, your rent prices keep going up and up and up. They did this on purpose. And then I want to close by saying, look at what they've done to our military. Some of you have seen the crazy attack ad. Mark Kelly, he criticizes me. He says, Blake Masters is anti-military. He's criticizing the military. He's criticizing the veterans and the troops. No, it's precisely because I respect our military. We need to cherish our military. That's why I criticize General Milley. That's why I criticize Secretary Austin. What these people are doing to our military and how they're treating our service members and veterans is shameful. I have met so many warfighters who have quit the military because they didn't want to get the COVID vaccine. There was no science that said that young and healthy warriors would benefit at all from getting this vaccine. But because the people in charge are obsessed with treating the military as this social experiment, they forced it on so many brave soldiers who didn't want it. And I've taken the bold step of saying anybody who was forced out of the military for not wanting to get this vaccine should be offered their job back with back pay and interest. The least we could do. And then what about this wokeness? I mean, you've been in the military, right? Tell me, do you think the military is an appropriate place for woke ideology? How does it make you feel when United States Navy sailors are being reprimanded for failing to use gender pronouns? It's disgusting, and I am so sick of it. And you see General Milley up there testifying in front of Congress, bloviating, we need to get to the bottom of white rage. We need to teach our soldiers critical race theory, and Karl Marx, and Mao, and Lenin. I'm sorry, what? And you compare and contrast that with what they did in Afghanistan. Our brave men and women, it cost the lives of those 13 brave American service members, right? And President Trump, I think, deserves credit for drawing that war to a conclusion. But Biden's cut and run, his surrender, it was dangerous. The Taliban now has more territory than they had in 2001. Equipment, $80 billion of equipment. We surrendered Bagram to the Chinese Communist Party, who now enjoys that facility. I will never forgive Joe Biden for the way that he got out, and we need to punish him next Tuesday. What do you think? The last thing I want to mention, I was made aware of this. Biden canceled a very important Trump executive order. Trump signed an executive order that said, if you are a veteran, you're receiving care at the VA, well, if you can't get an appointment fast enough, we're going to send you to a private hospital, first class, so you can get the care that you need immediately. That shouldn't be a partisan issue. That's just common sense, right? I talked to so many vets who benefited from that rule. What did Biden do? He canceled it. He rescinded it. There's no colorable argument that Biden's revoking that executive order would help any veteran. He did it to spite President Trump. He's okay with hurting our veterans if it just takes away from President Trump's legacy. That's what they think. I grew up watching my grandfather struggle with the VA system. He had his leg amputated in the months after World War II. He was over in the Philippines and picked up an infection. And so he had that phantom limb pain, which is really, really horrible. and he would come and live with us in Tucson, Arizona for 6 or 7 months out of the year. It was a blessing to me because I got to grow up with more of him in my life. But he really did it, I think, because in the Tucson, Arizona, in the southern Arizona VA, he could get appointments in 2 weeks instead of 3 or 4 weeks up in Colorado. Why is it taking 2 weeks to get an appointment? I understand there's been a lot of progress in the VA, especially in the Trump administration, but I'm getting scared hearing veteran stories about how Biden is chipping away, right? He's reducing the quality of care for our veterans. When I'm in the Senate, I promise I will be a warrior for all of you because you were warriors for all of us. So I want to thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service now as part of this grassroots army. You're the tip of the spear. You are the reason why, God willing, we're going to have a red wave in just 6 days. Get out, shake your friends awake, drag your friends and family to the polls. This is how we get it done, okay? Right here in Arizona, we're going to save our state and save our country. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And we're going to get Mark Kelly out of there. My gosh, he's doing nothing good. Hey, I want to introduce our next speaker. This man is absolutely amazing. Some of you already know him. He is a distinguished pastor. He's an accomplished veteran. Soon he's going to be a warrior for you in our legislature. He's going to add that to his already impressive resume. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Representative-elect Dave Marshall.